The FIFA World Cup, one of the premier World Cups when you have to look at the history of sport. Football is a universally loved sport all over the globe. That's why it's called the beautiful game. Now, in India, if we have to look at it, we have never qualified for the FIFA World Cup. There is a dream that one day, perhaps one day, India might play in the FIFA World Cup. There is a dream that one day we might want to host the FIFA World Cup. Both might be a very distant dream. As far as qualification is concerned from the Asian circuit, it's quite hard. But if you want to talk about the hosting of the FIFA World Cup, you could be in for a surprise because India now is apparently planning to co-host the 2034 World Cup. Yes, you heard that right. It's not fake news. It's not a joke. It is for real. India is trying to co-host the 2034 FIFA World Cup with Saudi Arabia. And that is the reason why there is a lot of optimism that maybe India can get its footprint in FIFA when you have to look at World Cup hosting. Because just about a couple of months ago, a minutes of the meeting emerged of the AIFF, where Kalyan Chaubey, the head, had made a very particular telling statement. I'll explain in this video what that statement is, how is the bidding process going on, and why India might be in a slightly optimistic position when you want to host the FIFA World Cup. Because remember, the AIFF is planning to co-host the 2034 FIFA World Cup. Saudi Arabia were anyway confirmed as the hosts for 34. But if there are reports to be believed within the football circles, 10 matches could be held in India, and India had supported the Saudi bid in October. Immediately after the bid, there was an emergency meeting of the AIFF General Council. In that, Kalyan Chaubey clearly stated, India should think or plan to work towards being a co-host for the World Cup in 2034. Now, with this development, and with the fact that there are already reports doing that maybe India could get 10 games in the FIFA World Cup. Remember, 48 nations are going to participate. It's only going to increase. Over 100 games will come. Now, if India gets 10 of those games and most of Saudi Arabia gets those 90 marquee games, then it could be a kind of a win-win situation. Yes, India may not get all the marquee games. Maybe out of 10, they'll get only one marquee game. Rest all will be the lesser known nations that will participate. But getting that also, and in the FIFA World Cup, considering that how minimal India's footprint is in the Football World Cup, it could be a win-win situation. Now, why is it that this trend could be very optimistic for India? Why do you think the chances might be high for India to co-host the World Cup with Saudi Arabia? Because if you have to look at the general procedure as to how the hosts are selected. Say suppose you are going to host the 2034 World Cup. The bids will be presented according to the infrastructure, commercial, legal, other aspects of the country. If the commercial and the infrastructure development is high, the country will be favored to win the bid to host the World Cup. So, bidding countries, they give plans as to how they plan to enhance the infrastructure, what are the commercial gains, what are the legalities that are there. Every single thing is presented to FIFA. The FIFA Council will then give 3 bids. They will then decide on who the 3 bids will be. And then from this one particular step, the final deciding authority is the FIFA Congress. From the FIFA Council, the 3 bids are shortlisted. Council then gives it to FIFA Congress, who then approves of who is going to be the bid, who is going to be the host country in a public vote. Now, in the last 2, if you look at the next upcoming 2 FIFA World Cups in 2026 and 2030, you will see that there are multiple hosts across multiple continents also in this case. Some from the same continent, some from a different continent altogether. The trend now is for football to break out of its traditional European bastion and South American bastion and make it truly global in that sense. The FIFA Women's World Cup was a classic case where it was held in Australia and New Zealand, two countries that do not have a rich footballing legacy in that sense. But if you look at the trend, 2026 is going to be held in three countries in the same continent, in CONCACAF: America, Canada, and Mexico. The United States of America, Mexico, and Canada are going to host all the FIFA World Cup games. That's going to be held in 2026. But 2030 is going to become even bigger and broader, because 2030 will mark the centennial of the FIFA World Cup. 1930, Uruguay had hosted the inaugural edition. 100 years later, you may see it in three continents. The apparent news is that Morocco, Portugal, and Spain are going to host the FIFA World Cup, but the starting of the FIFA World Cup as token hosts, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay will host. Now, this is a very complex and complicated hosting structure. I mean, they'll be the token host, because there might be a scenario where the first World Cup game might actually be hosted in Montevideo, in Uruguay. Then Paraguay and Argentina might jump into it, and then after that, the whole bulk of the tournament moves to these three places that I mentioned: Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. Now, because of this, FIFA is not just going country-wise, it's not going to be separate. It will be continental-wise also. Three continents hosting the 2030 FIFA World Cup. So, if three countries in the same continent can host 2026, if three continents can host the 2030 World Cup, why can't Saudi and India co-host in 2034? Now, the Saudi-India conundrum is really very interesting. You all know that Saudi Arabia is venturing into other sports in a big way, like I had mentioned in previous videos. F1, then you look at it, this FIFA World Cup hosting. Then if you have to look at it, you see all the Premier League football, that's happening. Live golf, every single bit, Saudi has got a major footprint. Now, the tie-up with India is very crucial here. Not just the FIFA World Cup. Saudi and India are planning to ink a deal in the IPL also, where some games will be held in Saudi Arabia as part of the 2030 program. The 2030 tourism link is that Saudi Arabia should be India's #1 tourist destination by 2030. So, they are going all out to ensure all the sporting matches and the marquee events are held there. Saudi is venturing into other sports. Like I mentioned, F1 is there, there's Live Golf there, and also Premier League, the stakes are there. Several key international stars like Ronaldo and Neymar are coming to Saudi Arabia and promoting Saudi Arabian tourism in that sense. Trend of co-hosts is now common. As I mentioned, three countries in the same continent in 2026. 6 countries from 3 continents are bidding for the FIFA World Cup in 2030, the centennial. 2034, you'll see Saudi Arabia and India, hopefully. The path is still very complicated and high. If India manages by a miracle to qualify for the 2034 World Cup, then the equation changes. Then India will have a major bargaining chip and say, okay, we are also qualified, make us also the co-hosts. For that to happen, they have to really play. The Indian football team has to play out of their socks to ensure they qualify for the World Cup. But at this stage in time, it's looking a distant dream, but the way how they can get in through the back door is by this. So, there is 10 years to go. In a decade, can India actually become the co-hosts? The stakes are high, the chance is high, opportunity is low, but never give up on hope. That is what the AIFF is praying on at this time. One hopes that they get all their houses in order, the commercial, the legal, infrastructure, everything is boosted to ensure that India can truly host a 2034 FIFA World Cup event. Because remember, India has yet to host the Olympics and the FIFA World Cup. Everything else has been hosted by them on a consistent basis. So these are the only 2 marquee events that are there in India's sporting history. The footprint that they'll create from hosting the 2034 FIFA World Cup, however small it may be, it can go and become a giant leap in its own way. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.